Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times, Tuesday, October 13th. News from Arkansas. We learned this morning, thanks to a story in the Washington Post, the state education department had fudged numbers a little bit on the latest round of teacher testing to show whether Arkansas students are getting the job done in the classroom. They set as a passing grade on the test linked to the Common Core curriculum a 3, when a 4 is more generally considered the passing grade. The state education department admitted after being caught that, well, that 3 really means they're on the track toward proficiency, not exactly the same thing as proficiency. I hope to find out just how considered a decision this was by the state education department make to put a better look on the scores. The scores already didn't look so good against the previous test that was used. This new standard makes them look devastating. If you can't trust your educators to run an honest test, what's the point? Of course, we have our doubts about the use of a single test score to decide educational progress in the first place, but that's another story. Circuit Judge Wendell Griffin today denied the state's request that it hurry up or dismiss a temporary restraining order that prevents executions to continue while plaintiffs in a lawsuit contend that the state has not provided significant information about the lethal drugs that are going to be used in the injection process. As it stands, the hearing is still set not until March the 1st. The state almost certainly will appeal and try and find another way around this ruling, but the judge said the state had been so wrong in its appeal for a temporary dissolution of the temporary restraining order that it should be found in violation of the rules of civil procedure. He's ordered them to show cause why they should not be. They could even be fined or referred to disciplinary authorities for making this motion under the judge's ruling. Other news from Arkansas is not so great. A little Baptist church up in Brookland, Arkansas has thrown out a member because he said he was gay. They said unless he repents, he's not welcome there on the membership rolls. Up in Yellville at the Turkey Trot Festival, they resumed the barbaric practice of dropping live turkeys out of airplanes. Folks up there seem to think it's really funny. Another sad story was the death in Texas over the weekend of Hoskins Stone. You may or may not remember the name, but he was married to another man, an Arkansas native who died several months ago. They had a terrible experience when he went to bury his spouse in Baxter County. They weren't allowed to use a church. They received hateful messages because of the sexual orientation of his partner. The situation continued, sad to say. He went several weeks ago before he died to move the headstone of his spouse from Baxter County to Friendlier Cemetery in Texas and reported to me in a note several days ago of a very ugly experience with some local people up there. But he died over the weekend. They both will now rest in peace. Fort Smith, the Southside High School football and basketball teams will be known henceforth as the Mavericks, a committee that was appointed to decide a new nickname to get rid of the old Civil War-related Rebels nickname came up with Mavericks. They'll be the only Mavericks in the state, so that's kind of fitting, I suppose. For your reading pleasure, I'd urge you to take a look at the Arkansas blog and read a great column by Ernest Dumas on highway funding. It gives some historical perspective on how Arkansas has paid for highways in the past. In the past, people at the legislature have sometimes been happy to raise the fuel tax because people like the money being spent on repairing and building new highways. These days, taxes are not in much high regard, and it's hard to get a tax program done or any kind of program done to pay for highways. We want highways, we just don't want to pay for them. Finally, I try and end these little notes sometimes with something that has a bit of humor in it. This is of the black humor variety, but yesterday, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, who's pretty well out there on the political spectrum, said he might like to see Dick Cheney as Speaker of the House, a good resolution of the Republican problem over there. Really, he insisted he was serious, and as I say, I think that's the problem. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
You feel it in your heart, the spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team and Little Rock's University.